Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the FTD University webinar titled People Power, the Energy That Propels Your Store. Today's featured presenter is Lynn Switanowski-Barrett, President of Creative Business Consulting Group. Using 30 plus years of retail experience as her guide, Lynn helps retailers of all sizes understand the opportunities created by changing consumer trends. As a quick housekeeping note, Lynn will be taking questions at the end of the session. If you have a question, simply type it in the chat box in the toolbar at the bottom of your screen. Feel free to submit your questions during the session. And please note, this session will be recorded for future viewing. All right, let's get started. Welcome, Lynn.
Thanks, Janet. Hey, everybody, how are you today? I feel like, I'm ready to go here. I don't know if you guys noticed my background here, but I love the flowers so much. It's spring, so it's on your screen and it's my background behind me too. I don't know if you can see here, but I also have a floral dress on today. So I'm really, really involved with my FTD group today. I am so glad you're here. We are going to talk about people power, if you will, the energy that propels your store. But I need you all to promise me that as we talk about people, that you keep an open mind, because I'm going to spin the people at your store, not spin it, but talk about it in a different way, as in, who we have today is one thing, who do we need for the future is another. And hopefully, whether you're listening live or you're listening to the recording afterwards, you'll just get some thinking started on where your business needs to be, where it is today and where it needs to be. Some of you have met me before. I see the names pop up, so I've seen some of you attend my sessions before. We've been lucky enough to present to this group before, but we are retail consultants and strategists, and we work with florists and all kinds of small to mid-sized businesses on all kinds of business and profit improvement programs. So enough about me, let's talk about you. And I think this is how I want to start the conversation, because the only thing worse than training your employees and having them leave is not training them and having them stay. And I could have put this quote up from many, many different industries and business leaders. But the reason that I bring it up is there's an expression that says you're only as good as your weakest member, your weakest team member. And in a lot of cases, I work with a lot of businesses these days who are basically managing their most problematic employees, and it's taking a ton of energy and taking time and focus away from the business. And so this isn't about the people that work for you. I want them all to love their jobs. I want you to love them. But I'm questioning, and I want you to sort of think about today, basically, what kind of skill sets does an employee at your florist need to have today to be successful in that job? And with the understanding, it may be different than in the past. And I'm only using the word may be different. I know it's different. I'm trying to ease you into thinking it might be different. The reality is, if I was making that statement, I would tell you the needs of an associate for your business today are completely different than they were before. And I know that in most cases during COVID, you guys were an essential business and many of you were able to stay open. But you would have seen that comment come to life even more clearly if you were having to close your doors and have employees that went out and took unemployment because you had to furlough them, and then didn't want to come back because they were making more money staying home was one of the problems, or frankly didn't want to work in a digital environment and therefore could only answer the phone, but nobody was in the store calling. They were all emailing and texting. So a lot of different issues going on with employees today. And what I would love you to sort of understand and sort of sit here and look at is, what do I need to do to have associates who meet my customer needs in 2021 and beyond? Because we all know that losing an employee is an expensive proposition, 1.5 to 2 times your salary, and whether they're part-time, whether they're full-time, if you're the trainer, it takes your focus away from how do I build the business, how do I market the business, where do I go from here? along with the fact that you have to start over and somebody new has to come in and your customers have to get used to, someone new. So obviously it's an expensive proposition. Employment at will is an issue. I get that we all have, but what do you need to do to hire the right people and to understand what the skill sets of an employee who can help bring your business to the next level are in 2021 and beyond? Just to give you a sense, this chart shows you, when I say first impressions matter, usually if someone's going to leave, this is when they leave within the first year. And I really want you to understand that a clear impression of what the job they're signing up for, what you're going to ask them to do. If you look at that first 90-day period, it's almost like 22 and 11 is 33. 43% of people leave within the first 90 days if they're going to leave. And that's because the expectations aren't clear. It's because they thought they were signing up for one thing and there's another. So you kind of have to ask yourself, I know some of you would say, well, it's their fault. They're not the right people. True. But you spent time and energy recruiting them, interviewing them, bringing them on board. Your customers had to have an experience with them that might have been bad. That's a risk your business takes. So I would love to say to you, how do we make sure that the first impressions matter, both what they impress with you and then how you impress upon them what their job is going to entail. And what their job is going to entail is where we really want to sort of spend time talking about. How many of you have what I'm going to call an onboarding program? So meaning, what do you do? How do you tell people what they're about to get into? Instead of, some of you may say, oh, the job is 20 hours a week, and these are the hours that you'll be working. Okay, what else? How am I going to be interacting with customers? What is my interaction with technology? What are the expectations? I'm maybe a great people person. I may be a terrible people person. How much am I going to have to interact with people, right? We're a brick and mortar floral business. Someone opens the front door and comes in. You need to have someone who can interact with people. You have orders that come in online and digitally. You need to have people that can manage a digital experience. So who are you hiring? What do you need to do? And the way that you successfully tell somebody what's about to happen is to create what I call an onboarding program. And whether it's a millennial, someone who's young, the better you can tell somebody what their expectations are, how they're going to be successful. What is it going to take? If you think about the 3 A's, that's what I call it. How do you assimilate? How do you be good at your job in this world? How are we going to help you do that? How are we going to accommodate? And then how are you going to grow here? If you want to grow here, is there a path for future? Those are all really good tools that you want to present to somebody, and what I'm calling onboarding. And if you can think back, I don't know who's actually on the call, if you're owners, if you're managers, but if you could think back to when you started working, I guarantee you, if it was 5 years ago, if it was 10 years ago, if it was 25 years ago, your first job, your second job, your long-term job, the expectations were very different on what your participation within the company was, and your success or failure at that job was probably because of how you were onboarded. Think about, again, if you want someone to stay, what does success look like, right? Onboarding will help with that. One of the keys here is you need everybody to be up and running quickly. Usually you're hiring because someone left, maybe there's a hole, maybe your sales are growing and you need to bring somebody up to speed quickly. A good onboarding program, telling people what success looks like, how to really be good at their job, will help them get better. I say it faster, improve time to productivity, right? Improve customer satisfaction. That's a critical piece, because I know you want your customers to love the experience with your brand. And when you onboard new staff in what I'm calling a professional environment, there is a checklist here, and I believe if you look in the chat right now, Janet was going to add that to the chat. So you can actually download that either from this presentation or go right to the chat within this presentation live and download that. So you can see what a good onboarding situation looks like. I just want to talk for a second about, I won't get into payment per se, because I have a very strong opinion about that. And I would say everybody wants to make a good living. I don't know where your stores are and, what you're feeling about, paying minimum wage versus beyond that. What I would say to you is salary is part of it. However, what does it look like in 2021? Quick learner, empathetic, desire to make others happy. I selfishly would say, obviously, that's at the top of the list, and that's certainly something we all want. But I'm asking you guys, do you think about that from the perspective of a 20-year-old hiree? What, if you had to describe, and maybe you don't know, so ask them, if you have a 20-year-old working for you, and you said, what does it take? How do you make people happy? They might say, I text somebody a meme, and that's making my friends happy. Or I have a great text conversation with my mother. They could be really good at that, but the desire to make someone happy is delivered or communicated in potentially a way that you as a business owner may not be used to. So some of you are sitting there going, shaking your heads at me saying, that's crazy. I don't want my salespeople to text people to make them happy. We need to try and dig into that right now, because in a lot of cases, some of your customers would find that to be a really nice thing. And what's it going to take to make your customers happy? I know you all want to do that. So some of the skill sets, when you're interviewing, when you're thinking about putting a job description together, when you're putting that onboarding package together, how many of these skill sets do you test for? Patient, confident, multitasker, empathetic, friendly, humble, right? Again, making others happy. Do you ask those questions? Do you test for those things? How do you think about what you need? This slide may feel a little, and I'm going to use the word, I was talking to Janet about it, I was like heavy, but this starts to turn the corner in what I'm hoping to present to you as what really needs to be a critical tool, and whether it's a thinking tool or a physical tool that sales associates in 2021 for a floral business, for, and I'm using the word floral, understanding that your front door opens, understanding that you have an interaction with a customer that produces a sale, right? How many of you really hire or think about the digital literacy needed for a sales team? It's absolutely critical that your associates have a digital literacy. Financial literacy, I could talk to you about, yes, maybe you take more credit cards today than you used to, but I mean, you go places and people can't make change, right? That's a challenge. Organizational, what does the organization look like? I carry my phone, with me as an example, but, what does a phone look like? And, that's the only place my life as a young millennial is managed today. Okay. Is that how you manage your team with a digital focus? What skill sets under thinking? Do you let your sales associates be creative? Or because they don't design floral arrangements, all their job is to come in, ring the cash register, and leave? Could they be creative thinkers and really artistic in delivery of social media content, of taking pictures of or videos of the person creating your beautiful arrangements, and actually their creativity comes in delivering it to your customers on your social media? Communication could be the same thing. How do your sales associates interact with potential customers? One is through the front door. What happens if the entire interaction is digital? They come to you via a text or an email or an order that's online, and how they want to communicate with you is only via a digital means. They don't want someone to call them back. Do you have a sales team or do you have associates that can communicate digitally with your customers? These are the tools that a 2021 and beyond associate is going to need to have, because consumers are changing. And that's really what I want to set up. Let's take a quick poll here, because I think this may show you the gap that potentially exists between you and your customers. What percentage of your customers will continue to shop online at the same or greater levels this year than last year? Keeping in mind that we were all basically sequestered last year and we shopped online a lot, right? How many people, where are people going to be? Are they going to spend more time, less time shopping online than they did in the last year? Was it a necessity, a want, a nice thing to do because they had to, or did they like it and want to continue doing it? Give you about 10 more seconds here. Again, you can put yourself in this, you can, but don't answer what you think the right answer is for your customers. You know what I mean? You could say, hey, this is where I am, this is where I think people are, but we'll talk about your customers in a second. All right, you ready? Let's end the polling and publish the results. Okay. So almost half of you, 44%, say 71 to 90, D. And pretty close. I'm going to spend more time, at least the same or more. And that's definitely where the majority of you are. The answer is, in fact, 72%. So in that D bucket, you guys are right. People were forced to shop online because they couldn't get into their usual favorite stores, which allowed them to create a new way. And they found that it was quite handy. And it was really something that made my life much more easy to manage. And I want to keep doing it. Not only do I want to keep doing it, but if you go to the right side here, I want to do it other ways. I want to do it via social media. You can shop directly through Instagram and Facebook these days. Pinterest is going there next. YouTube is already there. Twitter is already there. So want to shop online, continue to shop online, and access to shopping online. That's what your customers want. So as a business that services customers, it's not just enough for you to be able to open the front door and have associates in your store know about the product that's on the shelf and how much it costs. That used to be the model that says, hey, if I knew and my sales associates and my associates on the floor could answer those questions, or a phone call, that was going to be enough for customer satisfaction. But the interaction with customers today is happening in different places, and that's where you're going to need to sell. So if we think about, and again, I'm using the word retail because I want you to understand that yes, you're a floral store, but it is basically a B2C business model. So you have your business and you have a customer that buys, and whether you want to call that a retail or you want to call that a floral, it is about the customer rationale and how do you create ties, right? So if we were to talk in a traditional environment, we'd say, okay, we'd go around this wheel and we'd understand that for your, floral business to succeed and to have really great, associates, you would need to understand your customer's problem. These things in green here, right? Determine what they need, how much they want to spend on an arrangement, when they want to have it sent, right? And then overcome objections, right? And a lot of that happened in person. Today, it's really about this personal selling approach. And by that, I mean modern engagement tactics. Where do your customers want to engage with you? How do they want to engage with you? How do they want to be approached and communicated with? Those are the associates that you need to have in your realm today. So if your store is situated in the middle, and I'm using an extreme example, you happen to be in the lobby of a retirement home, and every single woman, man, daughter, son walks in your front door to buy flowers for their parent that lives upstairs. Great. Your personal selling approach, the employees you need to have, is going to be somebody that knows flowers, that can understand pricing, that can help them with budgets, that knows maybe their mom or dad personally. But you can see my extreme example here is that's not many of you, if any of you. Really, it's somebody walking in the front door, but more than not, somebody calling, somebody texting, somebody sending you a note via the website, somebody sending you a note via your Instagram page or a note on your Facebook page that says ... I want to buy some flowers for my mom, my dad, my sister, my friend. How you communicate with those people, how your staff, your employees, associates need to communicate with every one of those customers is going to be different for all of you, but that's where you need to gear how quickly you need to get there is basically something that's going to be personal to you. You may be in the middle of a college town and everybody wants to WhatsApp you and Snapchat you and, send you a direct message on Instagram or Facebook Messenger. And there's people in this call that are saying, what are any of those things? That's okay. But I'm gearing this whole conversation around the people that work in your business for you to understand they may need to have different skill sets. And it's your job as the manager and the owner of that business. You don't need to know how to manage Snapchat. You need to know how it works. TikTok is another example. You don't have to be a TikTok expert, but eventually if you want to get involved with a great video element to your business to make it really relevant to a big generation of people, you're going to need to have somebody on your team to help build you a TikTok audience. This guy on the left here, his name's, I think, Jacob or Isaac. Oh no, florist Isaac. He's actually a florist. He has a younger base customer. He uses TikTok, which is a video social media format, to sell to his customers. The one in the middle, obviously, is Instagram. Then there's Facebook. So when I'm talking about some of your associates, instead of having an associate, and I'm being really pedantic here, who can sweep the floors and clean the windows really well, maybe you need an associate that can help you engage with customers on social media and can respond to customers on social media. Right? Maybe you can, as a manager, create programs. And if you don't know how to do the programs and you know you want to do this and you have customers that want you to do this, trust me, you'll have sales associates that can help you do this. Anybody under the age of 30 will be able to help you look better on social media. And I'm using 30 as a cutoff, but there's plenty of people that know how to use Instagram and Facebook. But your job is to create programs that help you say, so you have a sales associate that communicates with customers because they take pictures of the deliveries, videos of the arrangements as they leave the store. They text them to the purchaser of those and say, your flowers, your arrangement is on the way. Just want to give you a heads up. You post that stuff afterwards on social media. It is a how-to lesson. This woman, right? This is the floral photo shoot. This is how to take pictures of, of flowers. You could do live sessions on Facebook and Instagram teaching flower arranging. That would be really fun for your customers. Here's the key. Do you have sales associates on your team that can help arrange that for you, right? Some of this is ideas for your marketing. Don't forget the session here is about the people that you bring into your organization to actually help you facilitate these things. So are you staffing up with these kind of sales associates to help you create these opportunities. Another great, thing to think about is, front door selling is one thing, but do you have somebody, or should you have somebody on your team that can help you sell digitally, that can help you create pictures on your social media pages? This happens to be a dog, but I wanted to show you that this is a product tag on Instagram. You could set up a floral arrangement and have it be sold via your Instagram page, right? Have it either set up for delivery, have it, set up for someone to come pick up, but by somebody posting an arrangement on Instagram, tagged, purchase it directly for sale from Instagram or Facebook, or text you, whatever method you want to, that's another sale opportunity. But the key is having an associate who can help you do that. And not just occasionally, sometimes, but that part of their job is to what I'm calling a digital sales associate. So just like somebody is there when the front door opens, this person is there to create, if you will, digital orders. It is your online storefront. And the question about people power is, do you need to shift here already because your customers are already here? Am I giving you information about the next set of customers you may have, and therefore the next set of associates that you need to think about hiring? What skill sets do they need to have, right? Another skill set that your sales associates, whether it's digital or whether it's in your store, need to have now. Every consumer is figured out they can ask for discounts these days. Now, you may agree that it's, that's something you don't want to do. This isn't about the decision you make to not do it. It's to understand that your sales associates and the people who either engage with you digitally or in your store need to know that it could be coming, and your job is to empower them with the tools to have the conversation with the customer so that you don't lose and get behind, if you will. And your job as the owner of the business may be to create offers that engage customers, with a digital element, or to engage in a matching process or a future discount, or at least a pat answer that says, this is how we're going to deal with this. But again, the people power to me is, who are your associates? Where do they need to be positioned to talk to your customers most effectively? And then in 2021 and beyond, what kind of questions, comments, issues are going to come up from your customers that your sales associates will need to handle? And that's sort of what I'm trying to help you frame here. Other things, especially in the post-COVID age, do you have, what I'm calling technology and tools, and do you need associates who can manage technology? I have a one of my clients has a lovely associates. They're older, that's fine. They've been with her for a long time and she loves them. The problem is they can't use computers to look up any, inventory, to look up anything, to schedule appointments. They have appointments, but in your world, to schedule delivery, to manage anything digitally, that puts your business behind. So, do you have tools that are technology that you need to now train your staff on? Or do you need to add some new tools to your business to help meet customers where they are? There's a couple of different phases to this. The new phase of retail is what we call the Phygital experience, the physical and digital merger. It isn't just a physical walk in your front door anymore. It is a meet you online, and somewhere between I come in occasionally to I never come in is where your customers are going to lie. Your job as the owner is to say, I don't care where they come. I want to be able to service them however they want to buy products from me, get products delivered from my business, and have tools and have salespeople and associates that can meet those customers' needs. And then the piece that's hard is that while, and I'm assuming, as I said, I've dealt with you before, I don't think you're adverse to probably what I'm saying. I think you may not necessarily see it as urgent as maybe I do, in that generally, I think your competition isn't just somebody who wants to shop at an independent floral shop. I think your competition is somebody who says, I can go online and buy flowers. We all know why your products are so much better. I'm trying to say to you, you have to find a way to communicate why your products are better, why your services are better, that you understand your customers' needs. An online floral delivery only, or a company, right, that sends them, is good for a customer who doesn't want a physical experience, wants a digital experience. I want you to be able to capture some of that business. And I know you can by communicating a little bit differently with your customers. And that starts with having the right people in your store and having them trained in order to do that. So hopefully you don't just look at me and you're not all spitting at me right here and so mad at me. What I'm trying to say to you is change is here. COVID created some of them. It created some opportunities. And I want every single one of you to keep every single one of the employees that you love, but maybe they need some new lessons to communicate more effectively with their customers, with the future customers of your business. And that's where I'd love to sort of leave it for today. I'm going to leave time for questions. Obviously, you can get a copy of this presentation. You can download it again. And then I also want to say thanks for being here. So if we can help you at all, we would like to extend a discount for services, help you with anything you might need, any further conversation around this. But that's just something extra for you. That'll be there. But I really want to get to your questions and answer anything that I can that came up. It looks like we have some questions, so I'll be quiet. Janet?
We do. Thanks, Lynn, for sharing a lot of great information. Just as a reminder, we've been getting a few questions in the chat. Feel free to throw some more in there, and we'll get rolling with those. First one is, I know you're not associated with any of the digital markets, but does it cost anything to post advertising on TikTok or Instagram? This person does a lot of posts on Facebook for free, and they work very, very well for her.
Right. You don't. So Instagram is owned by Facebook, so it is the same platform. So anything that you post on Instagram, your stories or your feed photos, which would be a post, just like Facebook post, is free. And Instagram story is free. And Instagram, what they call IGTV, Instagram TV, is free. If you decide over and above that, anything you post is free. You can absolutely add to that by paying for advertising and targeting a market just like you can on Facebook, but it does not cost you to be there for free at all. TikTok is the same. There will be an advertising element. It's not available to everybody yet. I would say to you, it is a much younger base, but I promise you that as soon as it becomes a really relevant tool, and I don't think it's going to be much longer, as in this Christmas, there are brands, major brands using it already. I will start talking about it in earnest when I can help you all monetize it very quickly. It is a digital format, so it requires video all the time. So to me, if you are not using 50% video in your Facebook post and in your Instagram post today, start there. Start getting very comfortable with video, and then you will be set yourself up for eventually adding on TikTok. But if you don't do any video right now, TikTok doesn't work. It's a video platform, so you have to really be comfortable with video.
Great, thanks, Lynn. Then are the different platforms generational? They've heard that younger people are on Instagram and the baby boomers are on Facebook. Is that kind of true? Is it fall?
That is at 50,000 feet, a very good kind of analogy. Instagram, but when you say, baby boomers, you know, and then you get to sort of Gen X. The oldest millennial is 41. 1980 is the oldest millennial. That is in the sweet spot for your customer. So we can't say they're younger anymore. We have to say those are our customers. And that customer who's 41 years old and younger, yes, I get it, but has grown up with Facebook and Instagram and I shouldn't say that, grew up with Twitter and Facebook, absolutely understood how to get involved with Instagram the minute it came out. So the integration process was much, much quicker. The adaption process was much more quicker. So yes, there's a lot of younger people on Instagram, but if you want to say, you know, 40, 45 and younger as younger, then yeah, they're on Instagram. The truth is very clear that there are many more boomers on Facebook than there are boomers on Instagram. So if you do sway a little bit older, you can share posts pretty easily and you can do Facebook stories, just like I'm using the word Instagram stories. Your job is to put content, and I'm putting my hands in your face here, but your content, your job as the marketer for your business is to put content where your customers are. So if they're on Facebook, put it there. If they're on Instagram, put it there. But if you're looking to get new customers and you really want to address the 40-year-old, you know, customer who is buying for her mother, older mother, and her father and her best friends, and that's a really good, you know, women who are in their 30s and 40s is a good customer, then yeah, you should go to Instagram because they're not hanging out on Facebook. And eventually you're going to need to get to TikTok because their kids are on TikTok right now.
Thank you. What is your opinion on live chat?
I absolutely love it. I think live is a great way to engage people. But if you just expect to turn on your computer and, you know, or turn on your phone and say, oh, I'm going to go live today, and you haven't done the work that is necessary to get people to come back to your pages every single day, or haven't created a live event as in, hey, every Wednesday at 10, or today we're going to have, or next, you know, for Mother's Day, right? We got Mother's Day coming up. To me, it's Tuesday. If you wanted to have a live session on Thursday or Saturday about what are great gift ideas to give for Mother's Day, then send out an email, then post on your Facebook page today, your Instagram page today, sign up for this event over the weekend, or put it on your calendar and remind people about it every single day. Until then, you still have to tell people to come, is what I'm saying. Janet and I were talking the other day as we were getting ready for this session. You know, if there are shortages of specific types of flowers and things that are happening for Mother's Day, and you need to gear your customers to buy other things, to shift what they may normally buy for Mother's Day, because you're just going to be out of those things, a live chat or an event is a great way. Because the minute you say to somebody, this is the hottest trend, you must buy this for Mother's Day, because it's what you have, your expertise is what they're going to believe. Okay, I got to buy this because my favorite flower shop told me to buy this. Does that make sense to you guys? You can lead them to what you need them to buy by live chat, by your post, by the stuff that we're talking about here, which then helps your sales because we know internally there's a shortage. So you got 3 weekends before Mother's Day, absolutely, you know, tell people to come, remind them to come, use ads to get them to come, put signs up inside in your store, put, you know, tons of stuff on your social media, send out emails. You got an outdoor sign, put it up there. Outdoor sign, join us live on Instagram on this date at this time. Tell people again and again. You still got to tell them to come, but it's a great tool. Love it. Often.
Lynn, the question was kind of more along, they were thinking more along the lines of like a live chat as in live customer service, where that kind of a thing.
It's really the same because that person wants an immediate response. So if they're coming to you live, meaning they wanted something answered, you know, how are they coming to you? If they're coming to you via text and it sits there for a day, that's one thing. If they come to you via your Facebook Messenger and you don't answer them for 2 days, that's not helpful. So you have to be prepared from a customer service perspective that's how they want to engage with you. So you need a process to engage with them that's real time. So I like it for the same reason I like it the other way. It's where your customers are. It's how they want to talk to you. The key is the mechanics of how do you service that need. Hopefully, some of you on this call already have auto replies set up on your Facebook Messenger that says, hey, thanks for we'll be right back to you. Well, that immediately says to the person who texted in or sent a note in, okay, they're responsive to me. Now, if you don't check it for 2 days, that's a problem. But you can set up an auto reply on Facebook, on Instagram, on any of these tools on your website. I have a chat on my website. Do you guys? You can absolutely set it up as a live. So I get a text notification when somebody sends me a chat via my website. I get a text notification when somebody wants to talk to me via Facebook. Those are things that I've done to notify myself that I need to respond to them in another platform. You guys should do the same thing.
Great. There was another question when you had talked about matching prices, and there was concern because someone had mentioned Sam's Club had a dozen long stem roses for $12 at Christmas, which they were like, they absolutely can't match that. So what would you say to that?
So I work with a lot of independent industries. Another one I work with a lot is the pet industry, and it happens the same thing. The big box stores pay less than some of the independents, buy for, they not only pay less, they retail for less than the independents buy it for. So I don't think your price match has to be, it could be that we do other things. You have to be acknowledged. I'm going to guess, and if we were to sort of break down the flowers that were sold at that price at Sam's Club, we could identify why they may be inferior. That's what you need to work with your team about. We appreciate that is an offer that, Sam's Club comes to sometimes. We can only speak to, where we source the flowers from. Here's our supply chain. We feel, our flowers last. Don't know if you can disparage them if you want to, but my approach would be to take the high road and be like, we don't know where their sourcing comes from. We guarantee ours for X amount of time. We stand by them. So if anything was to ever happen to them, how we deliver them, the quality of them. And then the way we deal with matching is, we may be able to do a $5 if you choose that's your matching, or you choose to say that is an offer that they have sometimes, and we feel very confident in our flowers and we choose not to do that. But I think you all have to have the same approach in your store and what your story is. And my approach is always, you guys take the high road, you build the value and what you believe the value is in your business, and that's where you go with. We build a lifetime relationship with our customers, and if you want to go to Sam's Club that one time for that offer, we're sorry, this is the price for ours, and here's why we feel very strongly that that's a fair price for ours. Not just that we're asking you to pay more, but these are the reasons that we feel that those things get included in our price. It's going to happen. I never want you to feel like I'm ignorant to that fact, but I think we are in business because of all the reasons that we're passionate about flowers. And you could get a dozen roses from Sam's Club, or you could get a dozen roses from you that are arranged in a vase or in some sort of setting that is absolutely artistic and beautiful, that's never going to be coming from Sam's Club. And so you just have to stick to your value proposition.
All right, we've got another couple of questions kind of back into the digital experience. Yep. Any tips to gain followers?
Yeah. first things first, be there every single day and do not ask for anything other than to be fun and friendly and engaging. Try to be there for 2 weeks and not ask for anything, as in buy this from me, click here to buy this. Give tips, tactics, information, how to share fun stories, share memes and cartoons, take polls, run a contest, ask questions. Show that you care about your customers. And I'm saying 2 weeks because people, if you haven't been there consistently on a regular basis, they won't believe it. So you have to show up every single day, be there, give, if you will, give stuff to your customers, add value. And that'll be the first way. And you heard some of that, run a contest. And that could be follow us on Instagram, and everybody who follows us this week is entered to win a $25 gift card. Share this page with 3 of your friends and you're entered to win a $25 gift card. So you can set up contests that help you grow followers. But the first thing is you have to be relevant. So you can run a contest tomorrow and you'll email me, right? My email info is here. You'll email me and be like, Lynn, we ran a contest and nobody cared. And then I would say, well, when's the last time you were on, Facebook or Instagram before that? And you'll be like, oh, it was 3 weeks. So it's the same thing with your website. You have to get an audience and get a following. And the way you do that is by consistently showing up. And in some cases, advertising. You want to run a contest and you want to put a $5, $10, $20 ad that lasts for 3 days that exposes the contest to more people, you'll get more followers. But start with just being there authentically first.
All right, got a couple more questions. If you do have any questions, reminder, throw them in the chat. And this person, they have a brick and mortar business. So why do they need to add digital elements when people are already walking in their door?
Because, so that goes back to, and I'm thrilled that you have a physical customer. I'm grateful that you do. And I'm sure that you spend a lot of time and energy growing that customer base and getting them to come to the front door. But the next generation of customers isn't going to shop the same way. And that's why I started very specifically with that slide. The next generation of purchasers of your floral products are going to come to you more than not through a digital channel. They're going to find you via digital channel. They're going to engage with you via a digital channel. They may purchase with you from a digital channel, and they may come in one every 5 times because they just like what your space looks like. It inspires them and they love it. So not that they're never going to come in, but the majority of their time, they're going to engage with you digitally first. You need to be relevant to that customer. And by you not being on social media and not having a team that can engage with them digitally, you are going to get further behind that customer.
All right, thank you. What's the best way to get started with video?
Grab your phone and snap. Like, it really can be started with, I mean this sincerely, and I want to make sure that you guys, everybody, at least everybody, I say, most of you in this business have this creative, artistic, beautiful view of life, right? If you happen to arrange the flowers, you walk in, you look at life differently than people who are like my husband, who's a CPA, who looks at a spreadsheet all day. So when I say share the beauty that you see in life, it starts with that. How, you are out at a park, you are driving somewhere, you see a beautiful sunset, it feels good to you, pull over, take a video of it, showcase the beauty that is around you in the park. That frankly, the delivery that came in today of fresh flowers and how they smelled. And I know it's hard to, give somebody via a video a smell, but between a video and your words on a video describing the smell, the color of these beautiful fresh flowers that you got in. That's how it starts, as simply as that. Your thankfulness for customers. If you don't want to be the brand, that's one thing. But do you have somebody, usually a face is what people like to see. Interaction with face videos is much higher than with non-face videos. So if you could get out there and say thank you to your customers, and you're just thrilled that they're here joining you every day or checking back or coming in, it's been a rough year, or Mother's Day, just start. Any video tool that you have access to on your phone is a great place to start today.
Oh, thanks, Lynn. I know we've had other presenters too saying, take pictures of your staff designing, the designers in the back room, giving your
Absolutely.
customers a sneak
And,
peek.
and you know what? Even, and I say take pictures, you said take pictures. That's a great video tool. So if one of your designers doesn't want to be in the video, fine. Then go right to the, where their head comes out of view and look at the flowers, and zoom in and maybe get them on background and maybe their hands and why did they choose these flowers and what kind of trims are they going to use and why did you choose this vase and what's your color story and who's this going to? That's really good engaging stuff too.
Yep, great tips.
It may feel boring to you guys, but it's really nobody else. I mean this sincerely. Nobody else has your view. They're like, we're all Luddites. We can't do this. We are inspired by you. Why do you think people smile when they see the floral delivery guy at the door? Happiness in a jar, in a vase.
Awesome. We've got one final question here. Hiring people, salespeople especially, is already hard. Where are they going to find new associates with digital experience?
So here's my tip. What are you searching for today, or what have you searched for in the past? Are you looking for someone that can sell flowers? Maybe. Is the new salesperson somebody that's really good at digital who I can teach how to sell flowers? So do you change your perspective on what you're looking for? And my hint to all of you is, can you teach somebody how to sell flowers? I think you can. They may not be the best arranger, but could you teach somebody about the nuances over time? Yeah. If that person can help you be more digitally involved with customers tomorrow on your Facebook and Instagram page, and they can answer text questions with help and input from you on maybe some technical floral stuff, your business wins automatically right away. So maybe it's changing what the main skill set of what you're looking for is. And that person may be easier to find today than somebody who necessarily loves flowers first.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Lynn. We are out of questions. Thank you everyone for taking time to attend today. As I mentioned at the beginning, this was recorded and the recording will be available on demand on the FTD Mercury Network Florist YouTube channel. For more education programming from FTD, visit ftdi.com to register for upcoming free webinars and design shows, as well as viewing any of our past education programs on demand. Thank you and have a great day, everyone.